Hey everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and we're working on page 8 for Ephemera Queen. And page 8 is the same as page 1. We've got 2 flaps and then a pocket that we're going to apply. So we're going to make this a mirror image, which means the long flap is going to go on the left-hand side, the shorter flap is going to go on the right-hand side, like so. So let's go ahead and get that done. Let's tell you the measurements again. This is 4 by 8, score ½ inch on the 4-inch side. Make sure you've got your pocket oriented where the openings are to the left and right, which I just confirmed. Kind of strange. I've been having trouble with this all day where my paper's grabbing before I'm ready. It's almost like it feels magnetized or static is causing it to jump towards me and not go down straight. There we go. Okay, again, this should be on the left-hand side. The second flap is going to get centered on the right-hand side. So in order to center it, I'm going to find the center point on the pocket page, which will be at 4 because it's an 8-inch pocket page. And then we're going to center this flap, and this flap is 4½ by 6, 4½ by 6, score ½ inch on the 4½ inch side. And then we're going to locate it centered on the left or right hand side of the pocket page. Well, I think I'm going to do that, but I just noticed that I didn't get my tick mark on here. There we go. Okay, so we've got our left and right flaps in. So now on the left-hand side flap, we're going to place this pocket. And right now it's really not a pocket, it's just a piece of paper scored. We're not going to glue it closed until we get our designer paper laid on. Let me tell you the measurements. This is 8½ by 7. So it's 8½ by 7. And I actually laid it in the scoreboard this way, score it at 3½. It's going to get installed this way, but score at 3½, fold it, and then once we decorate it, we will close the pocket by putting a bead of glue along both of these sides. And then it's going to get installed on top of this flap, but not until it's decorated. So we're not ready to put any more glue or magnets or anything else on until we start doing some of the decorating. So I've got some of the papers trimmed out. I need to finish that up, get the edges inked, and then we'll get started actually decorating page 8. I'll be back soon. Hey everyone, Daphne here. We're continuing on page 8 of Ephemera Queen. And I've got my papers trimmed out, and I think most everything's ready. So we are going to start applying our designer papers, and we're going to add our magnets. I'm going to start with the inside first, which I don't usually do, but I'm going to go ahead and lay this down because I know I don't need to place a magnet here. All right. While I'm working on this, I just want to thank everybody again for subscribing and taking time to come over and spend time with us over here at Scrap and Create on our YouTube channel. And I especially want to thank those of you that are able to and do shop at our store, www.scrapandcreate.com. We really appreciate it. You guys shopping, the whole purpose of our videos is really to promote our shop. So we really appreciate it when you guys take time to come over. That's too high up. I'm going to see if I can reposition it. Come over and do your shopping at Scrap and Create. It's not required, but we really do appreciate it. So that was a little too high up, so I'm going to reposition that real quick. I also want to remind those of you, especially that are new that the way we organize our videos are into what's called a playlist. And a playlist is typically titled, not typically, it's always titled with the name of the paper that's featured in the project. So Ephemera Queen will be the name of the playlist for this project. When you select a playlist, you're going to find a series of videos. The first video is the video that is the walkthrough of the finished project. The second video is the video that builds the base album. So your substrate, your base, the base of your book. Well, my goodness. Did I get it over? Yeah, I was going to say, I just can't get it placed. There you go. We'll build your base album. When I mean base album, it's the cover and the 4 pocket pages or however many pages in the book. The following videos, videos 3 through whatever, are the videos that add the interactive components like flaps and pockets and the designer papers. And the videos are organized by page. So you'll find the title of the playlist and then a P1, P2, P3, those are the pages. There's 4 pocket pages in this album. So a pocket page has 2 sides. So all in all, you're actually going to decorate 8 pages because we count the front and back of the pocket page. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, that's how we're organized. We have, I think, at the moment, before I release this, 53 completed projects with detailed tutorials for you guys. So one of the things that we decided to do when we first started this channel, you know, in an effort to promote the shop, we put out these tutorials, but also we wanted to make a commitment to you guys that if we put a tutorial online, that we would leave it there. So if you ever start a project, you're going to be able to finish it. We will not remove the videos. The only way they're ever going to get taken down is if, for some reason, YouTube takes them down, but we won't take them down. So our tutorials are free, and they'll remain online long enough for you to finish a project. Now, of course, the newer the project, the newer the paper, and the easier it is going to be to find. Some of our old projects, the paper really is out of print, so it's kind of hard to find. Doesn't mean you can't use the tutorial, it just means you can't do it with the paper that it was originally designed with. So hopefully all that makes sense. We also have a Facebook page, Scrap and Create, where we're encouraging you guys to scoot over there and share your projects and meet some like-minded people. And we've got a few people over there. I love seeing your guys' projects, whether they're based on my tutorial or not. It doesn't matter. But we do ask that you limit the projects that you post on that page to paper collections that we carry in our shop. And that's it. Otherwise, you know, just go and enjoy and meet a few people. We have some of our international folks that come over to that spot because they can't really buy paper from us because we don't ship international, but they engage with you guys on that page. So it's fun. We have people from Spain, Italy, Australia. So you make some new friends. Okay, that's enough about Scrap and Create. So this is the pocket. Just like on page 1, we're just going to glue the 2 sides shut. And I wanted to put this in there first because I don't have a gusset to slide it in. And I wound up gluing the pocket closed right on top of it. At any rate, it's going to get installed here. So before we go much further, it is time for us to figure out where we're going to place our magnets. So we are going to place a magnet here. And then this is going to extend from this flap to here. And we're going to put another magnet on here. But we're going to go ahead and place this one first. We'll cover this, glue the pocket down, and then locate the back of the magnet. The top magnet. Sorry, having a hard time talking today. I don't know why. All right, so that's in. So here's the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cover this like so. And then this pocket's going to get attached to this flap and be kind of like a flap extender. Okay, so the flap that, or the pocket that we're going to attach to the flap is going to go over and cover this flap, and that's what's going to hold everything together, if you recall, for page 1. So it's going to sit like so. So we're going to adhere it here. So it needs to have about a 1/2 inch all the way around. We're just centering it on these 2 corners, up, down. And we want basically for a common border around the pocket. Now, that looks about right. Now, the other thing is we're going to glue it down, but we don't want to put glue over the whole back. We want to stop here. So don't turn it over left to right, turn it over up, down. Center it again. You're going to put 2 pencil marks on it so you know where to stop your glue so that you don't glue the flap closed. And I'm just eyeballing it. So I'm also going to go ahead and trace a corner and trace a corner. So when it's time to lay it back down, I'm just going to place this right in the corner. It'll be perfect. Okay, flip it back over, and I know I need to stop my glue here and here. So I'm just going to apply glue down, and we're going to flip it over and place it. Okay, now we're going to place it into these 2 corners. And that looks pretty good. And now that I've done that, I'm glad I didn't place my magnet because I can see it's too high. So I'm going to have to shift this magnet over. So I'm glad we didn't cover it. Okay, so I'm going to close it. I'm going to use my pencil, draw a line, and I know my magnet needs to be down here because we want the magnet to be low enough that the opposing magnet is far enough away from the edge that we can cover it. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to try this. So when I say far enough to cover it, we want to make sure whatever mat we put down is going to cover our magnet. All right, so I think that'll do it. Yep. All right, looks good. Okay, now we need to, I'm going to go ahead and use, I think this, I'm going to trim this out to fit right here. Cover up that magnet. Okay, I think I can make that work. This edge is going to actually slide slightly behind this panel, so I'm not worried about inking it. So don't worry, you guys don't have to scream at me. You forgot the edge. Okay, so it's going to close just like that. So now I think we're ready to go ahead and cover this panel, and we're going to cover it in green. This page is going to be pink and green basically. And then I'm going to throw in, I think, a little bit of yellow for accent. There we go. And now I'm going to, oh, you know what? I was wondering why that fit so perfectly because I had actually trimmed it out to go here. So now I have to trim out another piece. I'm going to have that dark red here. So I should have used one of these skinny ones on the inside. What do you do? What do you do? It happens. That's why I think I've mentioned it a time or 1,000 times that I like to glue my paper down so I don't accidentally repurpose it. There's a case of where I accidentally repurposed it. Now I need to trim out another piece. Not a big deal because there's a ton of red in this collection. One of the cut apart pages is red, and there's a lot of duplicates in the cut aparts with the ephemera cards, so you really don't need it. Well, good grief. Do I have one that's this size? Sorry, guys. I thought I had this all planned. And now I'm scrambling. I could do that. That looks so busy. Okay, I'm going to cut down another piece of red. I thought I had a bigger piece, but I believe this is 3.5 by 7. Okay, I just trimmed it down, rough trimmed it to 3.5 by 7. And now I'm going to trim it to fit right now. Okay, a little more. It's pretty tight. A little more. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to glue it down. I'm keeping it simple because I'm going to do the same thing I did on page 1. I'm going to apply a matted ephemera card on top of it. So this is actually acting as a frame behind it, so it doesn't need to be very busy. Solid is going to work just beautifully. Okay. Okay, and then this is the ephemera card that I've matted. That's going to go here, and then this ephemera card is actually being centered on top of this pocket, like so. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip it over end, center it, and put our mark so that we don't glue past our markings. So we want to stop here and here. Otherwise, we'll glue our pocket closed. Okay, and I should have drew corners, but I didn't. Take something and slide it in just to make sure I'm not gluing the pocket closed, and I'm not. That's page 8. We've got a couple of things to do on the B side. That is it. Actually, I think I might even put this in the pocket here. Probably want to do something a little bit wider. So I think whatever I put in the pocket, I want it to create a slight frame around the ephemera card that's in it. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So there's that. This is our pocket. We've got a flap that opens to the left and one to the right. We've got our center pages, so we still need to cover these two. I'm going to trim out a couple of pieces of paper, and I'll be back and we will finish this up. Thanks, everyone. Okay, I've trimmed out the papers for the B side of page 8, and it's going to go very quickly. I can't remember if I covered this when we were last together, but I made an insert for the pocket, and it is 4.5 by 6.5, and I just used a coordinating cardstock, which comes from the Patterns and Solids pack, and it goes right in here. And then it makes this nice little frame around the ephemera card. So you have a frame and a frame and a frame. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and we're going to go ahead and get this laid in. So I used the same pattern for both the left and right flap. This comes from the 8x8 collection pack. These are decorative hats, but every time I look at them, my brain says it's a pastry. They look like cakes to me. Okay, we're coming to the end. So this is page 8. And the next time we get together, we'll be working on the inside liners and the cover. So that's coming up next. Okay, lovely, lovely. I love it. I like this pocket style. I did it in ocean blue, and I just think it's a great way to feature your ephemera cards. Okay, so that's it for page 8. So, like I said, the next time we get together, we'll be working on the inside liners and the outside cover and getting our pages installed in the book. So we're coming along. That's it for today.